They are a group of former veteran special forces who were the first Green Berets in Afghanistan following 9/11. And when they left the service, they decided to start a business, and American Freedom Distillery was born. COO Scott Neal joins me today to talk about this veteran-run business that just so happens to be the fastest growing craft bourbon brand in America.
Yes,
much. I want to say thank you. I want to say congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So much to talk about.
You know, veterans, when we hear about veterans, sometimes you're told, you know, how dented veterans are, right? And we need the VA and we need things, but this is the greatest country on earth. And just like our grandfathers came home after World War II, we wanted to start our own business and live the American dream we had been defending. And out of this just started us thinking, what could we do together as friends that serve together? And here we have Horse Soldier Bourbon.
You and I were chatting before we got started, and I was talking about my brother-in-law, for instance, a Marine, and his transition to civilian life. I've seen firsthand that can be a struggle, and it can be a struggle for other veterans out there. When you were done with that chapter and it was like, okay, what to do now? Why whiskey?
Well, why not? First of all, right? No good story ever started over a salad. So we would find ourselves talking about the past, but we didn't have stories about the future. And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to learn about the art and science of bourbon. If you think about the history of America, the Revolutionary War, George Washington had a distillery. The very first tax, though, was a tax on whiskey. So it's throughout our history, and we're all history buffs. And so we found a business that none of us knew anything about. And that's what made it exciting. We traveled to Scotland and Ireland. We traveled to Puerto Rico. We traveled to Cuba just to learn the art. And that was 5 years ago, and it took us all that time just to launch this brand.
You know what, just in case people don't know, and I know we've got some pictures to show too, talk a little bit about the background in case people have missed. We've chatted a little bit on the show, but just so people know.
It really started when small special forces teams were inserted into Afghanistan, and one team found themselves on horseback. Hence the statue at Ground Zero, which is, this represents here on the table the America's Response Monument, and actually on our label of our bourbon. And in the photo you can see Captain Mark Nooch, who Chris Hemsworth played in the movie 12 Strong. But really it's about small teams, alone and unafraid. So I think Green Berets are like this country's expeditionary entrepreneurs. Right, we go into the unknown, we don't know little about the terrain or about what we're doing, but we get it done. And that's the formula it took to start this business, just friends, family, and dedication.
And I like, too, as we were getting ready to get started, I said something about like, well, you ready? And what'd you say? This is whiskey, not war. Yeah,
this is whiskey, not war. It's a fun little tagline. And, you know, we're so proud to be out in the community in Tampa Bay. I think you can find us anywhere. Last night I was out doing some bottle signings, and everybody wants to come up and tell about their uncle that served, or their grandfather, their brothers that's deployed. And we always stay there all the way through to we can meet everybody and just listen to their stories as well.
I love that. And you know what? Also on this show, one of the other stories we were talking about, D-Day, the beaches of Normandy. You've got something planned. I mean, just to show your involvement in the military community.
Well, it's for all of us growing up as kids, D-Day was so important, almost like 9/11 is today. And now that we're a little bit older, we want to share that with our family. So we all decided to go to Normandy as tourists, but being adventurous that we were, we all decided to jump into Normandy. So much so that our kids have learned to jump as well. And so we had the very first 2 aircrafts going over and jumping into France.
I mean, again, you heard him right. World War II aircrafts are going to be jumping with their kids. Well, you know what?
Uniforms, in World War II uniforms, not World War II parachutes, though.
Oh, that's good.
A little bit more modern than that.
Well, you know what? There's no way I would jump out of a plane no matter how much whiskey I had, which does bring us to the portion of maybe a little cheers, a little bit.
Yes, a little
cheers.
Let's talk
about the product and why the business is.
I think bourbon is truly American, right? Scotch is from Scotland, Irish whiskey from Ireland. Bourbon is from America, and as we look at Memorial Day, there's a way just to have a quick salute to those who served and those who sacrificed.
Absolutely. Cheers.
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 Thank you.
To that. Ooh. Now, I got to be honest, I don't know a lot about bourbon. So in closing, I want to get your thoughts. What do you want people to keep in mind if they do want to dive in, try your bourbon?
We have 3 different products of our bourbon. This one we tried is barrel strength, 111 proof. So you went full bore today.
I think I did. I still kind of feel it. I'm not going to lie.
But it warms you up. It's a good breakfast bourbon. There we go.
A good breakfast. Again, coming from the guy who said that it's whiskey, not war, I can't argue.
And we have a small batch, and we have a straight bourbon. We've been winning more awards than we won in combat. And we're just, once again, it is a family's business. All of us that served, our kids are involved. Our wives designed everything beautiful. Elizabeth has been amazing keeping us on track as building this brand.
This is awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
service. Again, check it out for yourself. We really, really appreciate this on this Memorial Day.
Thank you.